At 19:30 Moscow time, on a warm September evening in 2025, Vladimir Putin is settling into his luxury guest residence in Crimea. Behind those closed doors, Russia's elite gather for a private celebration. They laugh, drink, talk about victory, and power, completely convinced that their war is under control. What they don't know is that in less than a minute, Ukraine will turn this illusion into smoke. Because far out in the Black Sea, cutting silently through the waves, a small shape is moving with purpose. Just 16 feet long, low to the water, almost invisible to radar. This is the Magura V5, a Ukrainian drone boat built from fiberglass and strategy. Inside its hull sit 6 OSA drones, each barely the size of a bottle of soda, but capable of punching holes through steel and concrete. These aren't just drones, they're precision-guided warheads with wings. Each one carries a shaped charge that compresses explosive force into a needle of molten metal. It doesn't blow up walls, it carves through them. And tonight, they have one job: reach Sanatorium No, 40th, the private vacation fortress of Russia's top commanders, intelligence officers, and war planners. A place where they relax while others die. Ukraine isn't attacking this building for symbolism. They're attacking it because inside those walls, decisions are made that shape the Black Sea War. Remove this node and Russia's ability to choke Ukraine's grain routes collapses. It's not revenge, it's strategy. At 1931, 3 miles from the Crimean cliffs, the Magura slows down. Its engines dim. The waves become its camouflage. Then the bay doors open, and 6 small shadows slip into the water one after another. No noise, no light, just motion. The mothership illuminates them with a final laser cue, a 10-second guiding handshake, and then the boat vanishes back into the darkness. From this point on, the mission belongs to the swarm. The OSA drones accelerate instantly, skimming the waves at nearly 60 miles per hour. Their wings slice the air just inches above the sea, low enough that radar reflections bury them in the noise. But they're not charging blindly. They're executing a strategy created by Ukrainian military intelligence, one of the most creative tactics of this entire war. A tactic called the ghost chain. The lead drone ejects a burst of aluminum strips of 500 tiny pieces that expand into a floating cloud. To any Russian radar nearby, that cloud becomes chaos. Dozens of fake echoes bouncing back, overwhelming the screen with false targets. Behind that artificial storm, the real 5 drones fall into formation, hidden entirely inside the chaff's electronic shadow. They hug the cliffs, flying so close to the rocks that the radar waves overshoot them completely. Then, for a brief moment, they must cross a gap with no cover. A Russian patrol boat is moving ahead. If the drones stay low, they'll be spotted visually. If they climb too high, radar will catch them. Their solution: rise for exactly 2.7 seconds, just enough to clear the obstacle, then disappear again behind the cliff line. A single mistake would expose the entire mission. But the Black Sea doesn't care about precision. At 1932, a sudden gust hits the formation. Drone number 3, the one with an antenna damaged by salt corrosion, takes the worst of it. The tiny aircraft begins to wobble violently, its navigation struggling to stabilize. Hundreds of miles away in Odessa, inside a dim bunker lit only by screens, an operator feels his blood run cold as the drone's video feed shakes. He grips the controller. His fingers tremble. If he loses control, the drone will spill out of formation. And if one drone is spotted, the Russians will unleash every weapon they have. Meanwhile, on the cliffs of Crimea, a Russian Spetsnaz operator sweeps the coastline with a thermal scope. It's boring work until a sudden flare appears in his lens. Heat. Movement. A drone. He doesn't hesitate. He lifts his electromagnetic rifle and fires a beam of jamming energy straight into the dark. Miles away, the decoy drone circuits overload. It bursts into sparks and drops into the sea. He radios in the kill, proud of his work. But he has no idea he killed the wrong thing. The remaining drones slip right beneath his position, hidden by the cliffs. He's celebrating a victory over a ghost. 30 seconds later, alarms go off at a Panzer S-1 air defense battery near Yalta. Their radar screens start flashing with the false signature created by the chaff cloud. The system sees one massive object, not 6 tiny ones. The computer flags an incoming threat. A $20 million launcher powers up. A missile ignites, blasting into the night, accelerating to Mach 3. It races toward aluminum foil. In Odessa, the Ukrainian operator watches the interception happen and can't help but smirk. "Keep wasting your money," he mutters. The missile slams into the chaff, turning the cloud into a burst of glittering scrap. The Russians cheer. They think they destroyed the target. They haven't touched it. Meanwhile, the Magura V5, now 10 miles offshore, activates its final trick. It broadcasts the electronic signature of a large vessel, tricking nearby Russian patrol boats into thinking a priority target has appeared farther out to sea. They turn toward it, abandoning their positions along the shore. The trap is now perfect. But Russia is not done. Air raid sirens blast across Sevastopol. Seconds later, and Su-30 roars into the sky, afterburners lighting up the night. A $50 million hunter launched to kill plywood drones. Except the drones don't give it a single clear angle. The swarm splits to drop almost to the waterline, becoming invisible in sea clutter. 3 rise to 200 feet. The Russian pilot now has multiple targets at different altitudes. If he fires at one, he risks hitting civilian structures behind them, including the very decoys where Russia's VIPs are hiding. It's an impossible geometry puzzle. Frustrated, Russian command initiates their strongest weapon, a huge electronic warfare dome. A 5-mile radius of pure jamming energy. Ukraine's operators suddenly lose signal. Their screens become static. But the drones don't care. Their internal gyros guide them with almost perfect accuracy. They feel the air pressure, the angle of every turn, the tilt of every wave. You can jam radio waves, but you can't jam physics. The ground defenses join the fight. Spetsnaz teams open fire with thermal-guided machine guns. Kinetic nets launch across choke points. One drone gets hit and vanishes in a bright pop of fire. For left, the operator in Odessa wipes sweat from his forehead. He whispers, "Hold together just a little longer." His screen blinks. 20 seconds to target. Russia throws everything at the sky. And then Ukraine plays its most ruthless card. One of the drones broadcasts a different signature, one that mimics a civilian passenger plane's identification code. Even worse, its trajectory appears aimed dangerously close to a school on the shoreline. Russian command freezes. If they fire, and if international monitors see the radar logs, Russia will be accused of attempting to shoot down a civilian aircraft over their own territory. They hesitate. That hesitation is all Ukraine needs. While Russian operators argue over conflicting orders, the for-real drones slip through untouched. They rise from the shadow of the cliffs with perfect line of sight to Sanatorium No. 40. Out at sea, the Magura sends a single-type laser pulse, its final whisper. The beam reaches the damaged drone and instantly corrects its targeting drift. The operator in Odessa sees for green locks appear. He leans toward the microphone, his voice steady. Target locked. Execute. The drones converge. They don't dodge gunfire. They don't scatter. They fly straight. The Panzer battery opens fire, spitting 30mm rounds at 4,000 shots per minute. The sky becomes a waterfall of metal, but the drones dive straight through it like arrows. At 19:30:46, the operator gives the command. Payload release. The drones eject their warheads for shaped charges, snapping into freefall, fins opening, diving toward the sanatorium at over 100 miles per hour. The drones themselves turn away, heading back to sea. The warheads hit. The first burns through the glass roof, liquefying it on impact. The copper jet cuts through marble, steel, and air like a lightning strike. Secondary explosions ignite the gas lines. Fireballs rip through hallways. A luxury armored car erupts into a pillar of flame. Another warhead hits the central hall, vaporizing the meeting table and everything on it. Paper turns to ash. Phones melt. Plans disappear. The electromagnetic pulse from the blast takes out a stretch of coastal radar, leaving the area blind for hours. By sunrise, the $50 million sanatorium is a broken, smoldering shell. The Black Sea Fleet pulls back. Ukraine's grain corridor widens by 20%. And deep in the bunker in Odessa, the operator watches the satellite feed. He exhales slowly. A tired smile crosses his face. Sometimes the smallest weapon isn't just the deadliest. It's the one no one sees coming. The empire that looks invincible. It's just a sandcastle waiting for the right wave.